say, in other words, the whole Sanhedrin will suddenly come to perceive why it makes sense to be strict about every law. And this will have the effect of making not only the stopping evil from coming out, but even stopping the potential of evil from coming out, as we've been saying. Why? Because the whole idea of Shammai is that he goes according to the potential as opposed to the actual. Just like he's interested in looking not only for revealed evil, he's looking for even potential evil. Also, it's because he's learning the Torah of Kabbalah. He's basically a deeper learner. Therefore, he sees the potential inside of the Torah. That's why he's dealing with the Pnimius HaTorah. And therefore, when you see the potential of evil and you're already stopping it at that level, it can't come out, right? He's like stopped it in its tracks before he can even actualize out of its potential. Okay, so based on this, we see there's going to be a widespread shift of the halachas going to go like Beis Shammai in the future. And from there, we're going to start chapter 14. And we said we want to add that also in connection with Chag HaShavuos, Zman Matan Torah Seinu, where the Torah was given, including the Torah Chadash Mi'ititet says, we said yesterday, even Mashiach's Torah and the wild, phenomenal new messianic Torah was already given at Har Sinai. It was just hidden deep inside. And therefore, at Har Sinai and the Inyan of Shavuos itself, it's a very messianic day. And if you think about what Shavuos is, it's actually the day, not only we got the Torah, it's the day we got the Mashiach's Torah. We just didn't really realize it yet. And therefore, there's going to be like little secret hints to the Torah, the messianic Torah of Mashiach, surrounding the holiday of Shavuos because of the nature of the awesomeness of this day. You follow what I'm saying there? And let's see how it comes out in halacha. When it comes to Shavuos, we find an example of a dugma of the Indian that halacha goes like Beis Shammai. Right? So specifically regarding the laws of Shavuos, we're going to see there's already something leaning towards Beis Shammai. And this is likened to the concept that all halacha is going to go like Beis Shammai in the future. Right? So where do we see the halakha goes like Beis Shammai in conjunction with Shavuos? B'siyum hilchas Chag HaShavuos in the Alter Shulchan Aruch. At the end of the laws of Shavuos, it is written, right, by the Alter Rebbe. He writes, quote, "B'motzei Chag HaShavuos asur lisanos me'ikar adin v'fi shehayom tavuach bizman shebeis hamikdash kayam." Let's explain this halacha. So Motzi Shavuos, which basically is the second day of Shavuos, right? You're not allowed to fast mi'ikar adin. In other words, it's prohibited to fast. This is basically Isru Chag. Why? The Fisha Yom Tavuach Bizman Beis Hamikdash Kayam. Because when the temple was standing, there was a special like abundance of sacrifice that happened the day after Shavuos, to the point that it actually took a name. The day took the name called Yom Tavuach, which means the day of sacrifice. We're going to see exactly what the word means, but it primarily means the day of sacrifice. The Hainu, what's going on? Why was there so many sacrifices the day brought after Shavuos? The day after Shavuos. Hainu shebo b'yom ha'makriven olos re'iyah shelo yochol la'akriv b'yom tov atzmo v'she'ein behem shum tzurach ochel nefesh. Let's first explain that there are certain fundamental obligations on every Yom Tov to bring special sacrifices. We spoke about it one time. Does anyone remember the 3 sacrifices that you have to bring every single Yom Tov? In other words, comes Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkot, you're going to bring your family, you're going to go up to sacrifice some animals, can't wait. Which are the 3 sacrifices you have to bring every Yom Tov?
Ola.
Okay, but that's, one of them is an Ola. What are the names of them though? Shalom. Again, those are the types of sacrifices, but these are like, I'm talking about, okay, not bad. I'm looking for the names. Re'iyah, right? Chagiga, and Simcha. Re'iyah comes from the word sight. You have to bring a carbon to God, which is an Ola offering, just for seeing God. Right? When you see God, got to sacrifice. Simcha Chagiga, because it says V'samachta b'chagecha, there's a special Inyan called the Chag, which is not just you shall be joyous in your Chag. It's actually a sacrifice called the Chagiga, just because the Chag. And then there's Inyan of Simcha, which means you have to basically bring an extra sacrifice to increase in Simcha. That is the joy that you're going to get also from taking the meat home, because it's holy meat that was offered on the sacrifice and you're allowed to eat it. That was a shlamim, right? So, that being said, we're now concerned with the Re'iyah offering. The Re'iyah offering was an Ola offering. And it says, Bo Bayom, in the day after Shavuos, trying to just get the halacha down for a second, we can understand its significance. The day after Shavuos, they would bring a lot of Olos Re'iyah. So all of Am Yisrael, they came with their Re'iyah offering the second day. Why? Because they couldn't bring them on the first day, because there's no need for what's called Ochel Nefesh. Does anyone know what that means? Ochel Nefesh? Soul food, I like that. Not exactly. It's Ochel Nefesh is... Exactly, Rafi, right? In other words, you're allowed to eat on Yom Tov and even cook on Yom Tov. Why? And you're allowed to even carry on Yom Tov, right? There's certain laws of Yom Tov that are more lenient than Shabbos, if you guys are aware of this, right? Why? Anything that has to do with Ochel Nefesh, eating. Because you have a mitzvah to rejoice, they didn't want to cool down your ability to rejoice. You're allowed to cook on Yom Tov from an existing flame. You're allowed to do all kinds of laws in the kitchen that you normally can't do on Shabbos because of what's called Tzorech Ochel Nefesh, for the need of eating, basically, because you have a mitzvah to eat on Yom Tov. Now, the Ola offering was an offering, like its name, it goes all the way up to Hashem. You put the whole thing on the altar and you don't eat any. The Shalomim offering, right? What does the word Shalomim mean? Peace. Shalom. Why is it called the peace offering? As opposed to the Ola, there's also something called a Shalomim, because it brings peace to a bunch of different people. Hashem gets a piece, the Kohen gets a piece, and the owner gets a piece. Shalom all Yisrael, everyone's happy, right? So some sacrifices you get to eat a piece, but some you don't. So the Ola, which is again called the Re'iyah, the one you bring for seeing God, there's nothing that you eat there. And since it's Yom Tov, and there's no reason that you're really allowed to do a malacha on Yom Tov for this offering, because there's no eating of it, right? So you can't just do a malacha if for no reason. You're allowed to do certain malachas on Yom Tov because you're allowed to benefit from the eating. But an Ola offering, you don't eat any. So therefore, they didn't offer them on the first day. They offered them only on the second day when it's not Yom Tov anymore. Is everyone following this before we go on? Moshe Yitzchak, you getting on the train here?
A little bit, yes.
You have any questions?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. So again, just to clarify, they would offer a special whole bunch of offering of Ola offerings called Re'iyah, specifically the day after Yom Tov. And why not on Yom Tov itself? Because you didn't get to eat from it, so there's no reason to there's no heter, so to speak, to sacrifice it, because there's no Ochel Nefesh involved. You don't get to eat from it. Clear? Okay, let's see what's going on. Afal pi shezehu l'divrei beis Shammai. This was the custom of all Yisrael. It was a big holiday called Yom Tavuach, right? Second day of Yom Tov, which really was only one day of Yom Tov. So it was the second day after the first day after the Yom Tov. This opinion that you can't offer an Ola on Yom Tov was only according to the opinion of Beis Shammai. According to Hillel, you could offer an Ola on the Yom Tov, even though you didn't get to take a piece home. Who cares? It's a sacrifice which is relevant for the Yom Tov. When else are you going to offer it if not on the Yom Tov? In other words, the fact is that we have 7 days to continue offering all of our Yom Tov obligations. We call them the Yemei Tashlumin, the days that you're allowed to bring makeup offerings if you didn't bring them on the day you're supposed to. But certainly, says Hillel, you can bring them on the first day when they're actually obligated. You don't have to wait and bring your Ola on the second day when the obligation is to bring it on Yom Tov. Beis Shammai had this idea. No, because you don't get to eat any of it, you can't bring it on the Yom Tov itself. You have to bring it on the day after, right? When there's no prohibitions involved. It's not Yom Tov anymore. The halacha is like Beis Hillel. But all of Am Yisrael conducted themselves in the way of Beis Shammai. And this is exactly what we were trying to shoot for, to understand that there is a concept of being exceedingly strict, although we're only going to do that really in Messianic times. But the point we're making right now is when we got the one day, which is really considered to be Messianic times, even in the Zman HaGalus, is Shavuos. Why? Because on Shavuos we got Torah Chadash Me'iti. God gave us also Mashiach's Torah. It was just sunk in there. We didn't get to really see it yet. But nonetheless, it's a day of celebrating Mashiach because we got Mamash the Torah Chadash on that day. And therefore, all of a sudden, on this one day, we hold like Beis Shammai. It's interesting, right? Kevan shedavar zeh asu Beis Hillel kidivreihem. In other words, why do we have this special Yom Tov, the second day of Shavuos, called Yom Tevuach? Because even the house of Hillel did like Beis Shammai, even though they didn't have to, because the halacha really goes like Hillel. And Harbei Yisrael nagu kamosa. Many Jews, to the point that it became a full-on Jewish holiday that's brought down in the Shulchan Aruch thousands of years after the temple was destroyed. We remember this, because many Jews also did like Beis Shammai. Meaning, what do they do? The Hakrivan Achar Yom Tov. They only offered this offering the day after Yom Tov. V'nais lehem Yom Zeh Shu Motzi Yom Tov K'mo Yom Tov Atzmo. And therefore, and by the way, this is a big thing, but it's written in the Shulchan Aruch, right? You're supposed to celebrate the day after Shavuos in an unusually festive way, because in the days of the temple, even the day after Shavuos was basically like a Yom Tov, because everyone was offering their Yom Tov sacrifice the next day, because they held like Shammai, even though they didn't really have to. And so this day actually is usher to fast. Not like you should be strict and fast. You're actually not allowed to fast because it has the din of a Yom Tov. And what is the din of the Yom Tov? You're not allowed to fast, right? And you're not allowed to give hespedim, which means eulogies. It's serious stuff. You know, a person wants to give a eulogy to a loved one. Sorry, it's Yom Tavuach. We have like an ancient tradition that this is a Pashut holiday for the Jewish people because we held like Beis Shammai on this thing, and everyone's going to offer on the second day. You're not allowed to give a eulogy. We don't give eulogies in Chabad, by the way, anyway. Im kein af ata mishachar beis hamikdash lo hotir hesped v'tainus bo b'yom. And therefore, this gets translated all the way down to the generations. Even ad hayom hazeh, it's prohibited to fast and to give eulogies on that day because it's a Yom Tov. Okay, so let's understand what's so significant about this. Yeah.
Mamish, like you have to have a meal, you have to have bread, you say Hallel, like what's how?
You don't say Hallel. Don't take this too far, but you can't fast. In other words, it has a din of it has a din of you're not allowed to like be sad on that day, right?
Okay, you have to have a meal, like a Yom Tov meal.
It doesn't say you have to have a Yom Tov meal, but it's considered a Yom Tov for Am Yisrael. It's obviously, no, it's not a Yom Tov where you mamash can't do malacha and the whole 9 yards, but the Jewish people celebrate it in such a degree that it like took hold on our traditions forever, right? Let's understand what the Rebbe is so excited about this for. Isa b'Gemara, it says in the Gemara, Maile yom datzarasa sakanasa lahakiz dam mishum denafik beizika ushmei tavuach. Let's try and understand this, right? The Gemara of Shabbos explains, Maile yom datzarasa means Erev Shavuos, right? The day before Shavuos, there's a danger, in case you guys were planning your bloodletting around Shavuos. You have to be careful. You're not allowed to bloodlet on the day before Shavuos.
Like donate blood?
Also donate blood from Mustama would be its practical application today, but in the old days, and by the way, I know some people that do this. I know some people that do this. I'm not in any way like in agreement or understanding these people, but there's still like some practice. But forget about nowadays. It was a common practice all throughout the Gemara and the days of our forefathers that the way they healed themselves was to let blood out of their body from different points on the body, right? It's like and basically it would heal people. It was a medicine that worked. The fact that medicines change over time is something that the Torah recognizes, but you could take out blood, and there were experts. If I took out blood from here, took out blood from there, what days you could take out blood, what hours you could take out blood, and there was a whole system around it, right? And when it was healthy to take out blood, and how much blood and when.
Like you'd use leeches and stuff? Or
Leeches, whatever systems they had. I imagine it was not that...
Today they use cups.
it was a messy process, right?
Today they use cups. They make holes in your back, they put the cup.
And they fill it with blood.
Yeah.
Fill it with blood.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like Chinese medicine, basically.
They put a flame underneath and the cup and
But they fill the cup with actual blood.
the cup gets filled
I know
up
there's something called
No,
filled up
that's
with
like
blood.
cupping.
because
No, that's cupping.
You're laid on your
No,
back.
that
No,
is
no blood
that,
comes
that
out.
makes
Yeah, of course the blood comes out. They poke holes in your back.
Yeah.
They put it on your back.
Yeah.
And then because they create suction,
Yeah.
all the blood from your back
Yeah.
fills the cup.
fills the cup.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have not lost this precious art form. However, it's not so much in practice today, but let's bring ourselves back to reality here. So the day before Shavuos, says the Gemara, you're not allowed to take blood. Not take blood, but what it's called, bloodlet. Why? Mishum de nafik beiziko shmei tevuach. I'm not sure if the Chinese are still on top of this, but there is a demon that is released into the world on that particular day, and its name is tavuach. Its name is sacrifice or slaughter. That's the name of this demon. The Ilo Kiblu Yisrael Torah, and what's this demon released from the world for? Don't play games with this, by the way. It means business. Why is this demon suddenly like let out of the bag on the day before Shavuos? Moshe Yitzchak, there's demons and evil spirits. And he comes out the day before Shavuos. Why that day? Because if the Jewish people did not receive the Torah, have a tavach lehu lebasrayu udamayu, that it's just standing there waiting to mamash shech the Jewish people, chas v'chalila, their flesh and blood. In other words, he's waiting to see if we're going to accept the Torah upon ourselves. And when we do, he's like, okay, I'll go back home.
So we don't have a choice.
Well, if you have a choice, but it's not going to be pretty.
It's all on you.
Freedom of choice, not freedom of consequences.
Oh, it's true. Oh.
And he says in the okay, it's brought in Mefarshim, okay, but that was really only the first year, right, when the Torah was actually going to be received. Right? We've already received the Torah, basically. But he says here, it's known that all times, everything that happened to our forefathers, when this time arises again, it basically like sort of resurfaces that same inyan. So even though we've already received the Torah, Baruch Hashem, we're standing, having accepted this covenant upon ourselves, every Shavuos, you got to really do it again. There's some kind of a choser v'ni, or it returns, and so the demon comes out every year, right?
What's the source for this?
The source for this is in the Gemara of Shabbos,
Okay.
and yeah, fine. So we have a problem though. Hiksha v'chidushi agadus marsha. The marsha, right? He's a mefarish on the Tosfos in the Gemara. He has a problem with this statement because he says, "L'chora lo have likros tavuach elatoveach." He says that really he's detailing with the name of this demon, this evil spirit. He says, why is it called tavuach? What's the difference between? We have a few Hebrew speakers here. What's the difference between the meaning of the word tavuach versus toveach?
He's doing it.
It's,
Like right and he's written. Like,
yeah.
Okay, so tavuach means what? In simple English?
Past tense?
Tavuach is a
Slaughtered.
slaughtered.
Slaughtered. His name is slaughtered. And the Marsha says, what? I don't understand the story. Didn't you just tell me he comes to toveach, to slaughter? His name should be slaughterer, not slaughtered, right? That's what the Marsha asks. He's just asking, how did he get such a name, slaughtered? On the contrary, he's a slaughterer. Don't say that too many times in a row. I'm just warning you, I tried. He comes to slaughter others, not to be slaughtered.
will I say this demon's name?
Mitaretz da'ahu zika shua satan hu yetzer hara hu ruach malach hamaves. Oh, now we really find out this guy. Who is this little demon? It's actually the Satan, the yetzer hara, and the spirit of the angel of death. That's who it is. Yisrael chas v'chalila. He comes to slaughter the Jews. Ilu lo kiblu atorah. If he didn't accept the Torah. Aval kevan shekiblu atorah v'kabshu es yitzram arei adrab zavchu Yisrael es hayetzer hara. So we know his name. He wants to slaughter, but guess what? The Jews did receive the Torah. And therefore, instead of slaughtering, he's called the slaughtered, because we slaughtered our Yetzer Hara. We slew the Yetzer Hara because we received the Torah. So when he comes out, we're not scared of this guy, right? He's already slaughtered, because we know we're going to accept the Torah. And like before he even gets going, we slaughter the Yetzer Hara. Right? That's why, so that's Marsha's answer.
So
Why would we renew it each year?
Why does it come back again each year? A simple way of understanding that is that we're basically continuing to receive the Torah. In other words, like we're saying, the Torah Chadasha, it's the same Torah, but it's a new Torah. So even before we get the Torah of Mashiach, The fact of the matter is, you're going to see new insights in Torah, and Jewish people will bring out new insights in Torah. It's basically as though you never got the Torah before.
Renewing your membership.
You're renewing your membership.
Something's not repeated in 12 months. It means
Yeah. Basically, the same concept. In other words, like for example, let's just say Kriyas Yam Suf, right? There was a day in the year the sea split and we walked through the sea on dry land, right? So we say that happens every year. Do you see the sea split every year? You don't need to. Hashem doesn't need to like make a physical manifestation of that because the energy of that has already happened and it's like reserved for that time. But the truth is, if you're tapped into your life and the reality of the Jewish people in the world, you're going to see that the sea splits every year. Our back, we're up against a tough place. Mitzrayim in front and the sea behind us. And whatever it is, there's an energy which basically opens up impossible realities. And the truth is, you don't need to be a genius to see it. How are the Jewish people even still alive today? Right? If you have Egypt on one side and the sea on the other side, you're not going anywhere. This is our whole existence. So every year there has to be a splitting of the sea on another level because there's a new Moshe, there's a new Am Yisrael. It's basically just we're living in the same, this story is an eternal story. The characters seem to change, right? But it's really just happening over and over and over again until we finish the job. Okay, so going on. So we slaughter him, he doesn't slaughter us, the Yetzer Hara. V'yesh lomar, we want to explain. Shezeu gam tochena in the yom tavuach. Now we're going to, this is one thing with the word tavuach, right? Which is talking about Erev Shavuos, where this guy comes out and we kill him. But we were talking a second ago in the halach of the Alter Rebbe, where he says the day after Shavuos is called Yom Tavuach. Why? For a different reason, seemingly. Because we slaughtered all those sacrifices because we didn't want to do it on Yom Tov. You guys forgot about that part, remember? So it's also, so now he says this is also connected with the Yom Tavuach. It was that little agadata about on Shabbos about this demon is really connected with what happens the day after Shavuos with this holiday, right? So the concept of Yom Tavuach, which is Motzi Chag HaShavuos, really it means the slaughtering of the Yetzer Hara. That's what it means, Yom Tavuach. The Jewish people celebrated this day, which is called in the Shulchan Aruch called Yom Tavuach. Not just because they were slaughtering on that day, it's really because they shechted the Yetzer Hara on that day. Because the angel, demon, he's an angel demon, he comes out, his name is Tavuach. And we call this day Yom Tavuach. It's not accidental, right? And it means slaughtered. Because the day after Shavuos, here he is, slaughtered before us. Koloma, which means to say, B'maile Yom Hadatzarasa, on Erev Shavuos, Lifnei Kabbalas HaTorah, before we receive the Torah, Nafik Beizika, he comes out, because he comes to slaughter, Chas v'Shalom, if we don't receive the Torah, but on Motzi Chag HaShavuos, La'achar Shekiblu HaTorah, once we did receive the Torah, we call this Yom Tavuach. So really, his name is Tavuach already before, because we know the future, right? But it's called Yom Tavuach, because the day after we received the Torah, we slaughtered him. Al Shem Shezavchu Yisrael as a Yetzer Hara. Fine. Question? Yeah.
Is this where the Inyan that if you study all night on Shavuot, you're spared from death that year? Is that where this whole Inyan comes from? Or?
Yeah, I mean, Mistama. The Arizal says if you study the whole night, you don't even you're spared from even accidental sins and so forth. I mean, yeah.
Also, is Tavuach come from Tabach? Is it Tabach?
Same word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chef. Okay, let's finish up this os. Time is of the essence. V'tam shebedavar zeh asu beis Hillel ki divrei. Now let's get back to our point, right? Our whole excitement about this case was that this is a scenario when the students of Hillel went like Beis Shammai. And not only that, but Harbeh Yisrael now kamosam lakriv machar Yom Tov. That all and many Jews followed this train, and they all sacrificed after the Yom Tov, not on it. Yesh lomer should be Yom Tov atzmo. So let's explain what's the panemius of this whole conversation. That on the Yom Tov itself was this Man Matan Torah Seni, the day the Torah was actually given, which we already said contains the Torah Chadash Me'iti Teitzei. Really, that's like the most messianic day we have in the calendar, because that's the day that Mashiach's Torah was given, albeit we don't really see it at the time, but it was given to the world on that day. And what is Mashiach's Torah, we said? It's not the aspect of the Torah which is discussing the world. It's not the aspect of the Torah which is trying to refine the world. We said there's two parts of Torah. There's like the mitzvah aspect of the Torah, what you're supposed to do, and it engages you with action and fixing yourself. And then there's like the fact that really it's Hashem's Torah. It has nothing to do with this world. It's infinite wisdom beyond the comprehension of man and so forth. So on the Messianic Torah is that part of the Torah. And on the day of Shavuos, it comes down. There's like an influx of the infinite Messianic Torah, which is the Torah which is beyond the refinement of the world on the day of Shavuos. All the secrets of the Torah that are above the refinement of evil. And therefore, ein makom v'tzorach l'zvichas hayetzer hara. This is the whole point. There's no, why did they go like Shammai and not Hillel on that day? Because if they went like Hillel, what would they be busy with? Shechting. Right? Killing the Yetzer Hara. If they went like Hillel, they would be offering all this zvicha and all this tevuach and all this business on the day of Shavuos. But guess what? Who has time to kill the Yetzer Hara when you're busy in the Shamayim dealing with the Torah that has nothing to do with the world? It's like the world doesn't even exist on the day of Shavuos. And therefore you're not busy shechting your Yetzer Hara because your Yetzer Hara doesn't even have a chance to come out because you're holding like Shammai where you're so deep into the Torah that even the potential for the Yetzer Hara is at bay. And therefore, they suddenly didn't feel like they had to hold like Beis Hillel on that day. They could all hold like Beis Shammai because it was a messianic day, which is akin to the world which will be in the days of Mashiach. We're going to hold like Beis Shammai. There's no reason to shech the Yetzer Hara. And this is like the sheet of Beis Shammai. That Shemitzad Ma'lasam B'limud Torah, because they were in such a high level of Torah learning, Mechadei Tefei, as the Gemara says, they were sharper than Beis Hillel. Sholim mavatlim gam hara nelam b'sharus le'ini milti ritzui. They already negate. They see the hidden evil. They stop it from ever being able to express itself, and therefore they negate even the possibility of evil for coming out. And therefore, let's wait till Motzi Chag HaShavuos, and we'll start shechting our Yetzer Hara again. In other words, unfortunately, Mashiach didn't come. We're not going to just keep going like Beis Shammai, because we didn't actually have the full Torah Chadasha in its full expression, but we had it for a day, and in that day we held like Beis Shammai. It's cool. Yes.
Wouldn't it make more sense that a Torah which transcends?
Can I just finish this one footnote before a question? This is a cool footnote. And he says this, let's just look inside because we're going to link all the secrets to the Nigla. I know we're out of time. But he says this like the Alter Rebbe says in the Shulchan Aruch, what this whole Indian is based on his Sif in the Shulchan Aruch, where he says what? Lo hayu yecholin lakriv b'yom tov atzmim lefi she'ein behem tzurach ochel nefesh. What's the reason al pi halacha, so to speak, that they didn't offer it on that day? Because there's no eating involved with this offering. What does it mean, ochel nefesh? That's a hint to things that are involved with basically romaz al inyanim hashaychim lenefesh elokis mitzad atzmo v'lo b'shaychas the bira yetzer hara. Right? That ochel nefesh is talking about things which are only connected to the godly soul on its own, and not with the shaykhs to the refinement of the world. Therefore, it's not shaykhs, ochel nefesh, therefore they didn't offer. Okay, you had a question.
Yeah, wouldn't it make sense that a Torah which transcends the world and doesn't have to deal with worldly things is less strict?
This is one of the questions we're shooting for the whole time. Why are we going to go like Beis Shammai when he's strict on everything? Right? This is one of the questions we're going to deal with.
But even like the concept of like, we're not in the world. We're like, we're receiving the Torah. We're dealing with all these.
Let me give you an answer, because this is the third time we've been asked this and we're out of time. But in short, we're going to understand in a minute, the next segment of the class, that there's two connotations of a negative mitzvah. There's sort of, just like we always say when it comes to darkness itself, there's two positions that darkness takes. One is its fallen state, where it's actually like opposing good. And one is its true state, where it's higher than light. Right? So when we're dealing with restrictions on ourselves, it's because we're dealing with darkness in a fallen state, and therefore we have to stay away from it and get away from it and so forth. What we're talking about right now is when there's not going to be any more darkness bothering us in a fallen state. And therefore you might say, I don't need to deal with any more restrictions because there's nothing for me to run away from, right? But on the contrary, now there's an ability to access the darkness in its pristine state. And so therefore the negative mitzvah is not being operated for the same reason. There'll be more negative mitzvahs. In other words, everything will be no instead of yes. I'm kind of giving away the end here, but you keep persistently asking me, so I have to let the cat out of the bag, right? but the no is a different type of no. It's not no, this is bad. It's no, I'm latching on to a state of no, which is above a state of yes. In other words, it's the darkness which is beyond light. We're going to deal with it in a much more sophisticated way tomorrow. But this is the idea. So we're not even worried about so much restrictions being in the world, because that's not even what no one's busy with any restrictions anymore. It's just that we're able to access the source of the negative mitzvah. That's the idea.
Wow, it's crazy.
Okay.